Hello there. Very glad to be in touch with you all. Today we will go to session 3 of Nirvana Shatkam. The session 1 and 2, they are introductory sessions wherein we saw the definition of Nirvana, the definition of Shatkam, then what are the limitations of the words, how the universe is classified by Nyaya Vaisheshika philosophy, and what are the functions of the mind, everything we saw. Whenever time permits, you can see them again, and then you will appreciate this session better. In this session, we are getting into the text proper. Okay. Now we will get into verse number 1 of Nirvana Shatkam. It has got 6 verses. Now we will see verse number 1 in this session. Okay. We are not in a hurry. I want you to understand everything. Take your own time. Okay. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham nacha shrotra jihve nacha grana netre nacha vyoma bhumihi na tejo na vayuhu chidananda rupash shivoham shivoham. Beauty. This verse is meant for advanced students. But don't worry, I'll make it as simple as possible, okay, so that everyone can appreciate it. But the advanced students will enjoy it well. If you are going to a good music or a song, functions or festival, if you know the raga and talam and everything, the tone and everything, you will appreciate it. But a common man also can appreciate, right? So I'll make it as simple as possible. What is saying that? Now let us see the meaning of the verse. Then we will get into the purport of this verse, the purpose of this, the basic understanding, the essence of the verse. Mano. Mano means the mind, the faculty mind. What is that faculty mind? What does it do? It analyzes various alternatives. If you have a problem, you think of various alternatives, right? Then you ask yourself whether I should take this alternative or this alternative, whether I should do it or this or not that, or whether I should do it at all or not do it, or whether I should do it now or later. These are all the functions of the mind. Without mind, these functions are not possible. Very important. Everything given by God is useful, provided you have the knowledge how to use them correctly. Correct? There is no point in blaming anything. If you are blaming means you don't know how to use them. You need the knowledge. That's what the matter is. Whether it is a relationship. If you are not able to gel with somebody, that means you are not able to relate to them well, communicate with them well. That means you need to be equipped more. Even silence is a very good communication. And you should know when to go away from a person where you are not able to communicate through words or otherwise, right? These are all knowledge. So everything is useful. Even the person who is challenging you, you are criticizing you, he is doing knowingly or unknowingly something good. This is the attitude one should have. So manas we have seen. Buddhi. So the mind, it does the function of selecting various alternatives and asking the question whether I should do this or that or now or later or everything. The buddhi is the one which determines what to do, which one to do. A determining faculty. Ahankara is the one who claims that I do, I hear, I smell, I touch, I walk, I speak. The claimer of the ownership, the sense of I, asmita. Okay? But that's a problem that we will see later. Asmita. Chittani. Chittam means the memory. Without memory, no continuity is possible. You have to listen to me, and what I said a minute before, you have to connect it to what I am going to say or what I will be saying later. That connection is possible only when the memory is there. Without proper memory, you cannot, even if you go out of your house, you can't come back to your house if you don't have the memory. So everything is useful. Everything is useful. Blaming is a lack of knowledge of how to use it. Correct? So he says, I am not this. This mind, buddhi, ahankara and chitta, they are known as inner instruments, or in Sanskrit is called andhakaranam, the inner instrument. He says, I am not that. Who? Adi Shankara. Na cha shrotra jihve. Shrotra means the hearing faculty. Jihve means a tasting faculty. I am not that. Na cha grana netre. I am not the smelling faculty, or I am not the seeing faculty. Nacha vyoma bhumihi. I am not the elements. What are they? Vyoma means sky, bhumi means earth, and na tejo na vayu. I am not fire, I am not air. And who am I? Chidananta rupaha. I am the chit, sat chit ananda. Okay. I am my Surupa, my nature is that. And Shivaha Aham, Shivaha Aham. I am auspicious, I am auspiciousness. So here, he is saying that I am not the inner instruments, I am not the 5 sense organs, but in this verse, only 4 sense organs are given. What are they? Shrotra, Jihve, Grana, Netre. Twak, that is the touch, the touch sense organ is not mentioned, but that is to be understood. Similarly, the 5 elements, he is talking about sky, earth, fire and air. He has not given the apaha, the water element, that we have to understand. We have to understand. Okay. Now, he says that I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. A question might come immediately. Suppose I am asking you what is a table. And you are saying this table is not a cycle, a table is not a pen, a table is not a mobile. Then you will get confused. I asked you what is a table and you are telling what table is not. Why are you doing that? Is it the right way of communicating? The question is very valid. If the question doesn't arise in your mind, I am creating that question. Okay? But what happens is, your question is absolutely valid, provided you don't have any misunderstanding about the table. Suppose you understand what is not a table as table, then it is my responsibility to remove the misunderstanding first, then communicate what is a table. Correct? If there is something error, but I have to remove the error or mistake, then give the correct knowledge, right? That's what this Shankaracharya is saying. Because you ask yourself, we have been always identifying with our mind, body, and all this thing, right? Whatever he said that. The 5 elements is nothing, the body is nothing but the integration of 5 elements. So he is saying that you are not that. Then he is saying that you are the Sat Chit Ananda, you are the auspiciousness, you are the auspiciousness. Okay? How nicely he is saying that. See, these are all the procedures, a prakriya in Sanskrit to say that. The prakriya of communicating. Depending upon, a good teacher is a one who communicates depending upon the level of the student preparedness. A concept cannot be explained to different level of understanding. The people having different level of understanding the same way. A school going children or a college studying or a PhD person, the same concept you cannot explain the same way. You have to adopt a different prakriya or a method or a procedure of communicating and explaining. This is what saying that in Panchadashi 8.73, Yaya Yaya Bhavet Pumsam Vitpattihi Pratyagatmani Sasa Eva Prakriya Sadvi. That is the right prakriya, that is a procedure. Nyaya, that is to be understood. Sacha Anavastita. This prakriya cannot be uniform. It cannot be same, fixed for everybody. That's what he's saying that. Okay. Now, this verse we have completed, but I want to give some other points related to this verse, which is very important. What verse has directly communicated, the meaning is given. What the words want to communicate, the implied thing also I want to do that. See, water by itself can never form a wave. Correct? Likewise, the consciousness by itself can never form a world of objects. The world of object which we are experiencing, it is a consciousness plus name, form and functionality. That is the experience. What is experience? The formula for experience is consciousness plus name, form, functionality. The name, form, functionality is nothing but an object. You can replace this name plus form plus functionality is an object. Clay plus a particular name for a particular form and for a particular functionality is clay pot. Correct? So, this name, form and functionality, they are not real. Then what is the definition of real? Real is one which can remain independent of anything else. But the name, form, functionality needs some substratum. Otherwise it cannot exist by itself. The pot cannot remain independent of the clay. So it depends upon the clay. But the clay can remain independent of the pot. Similarly, the consciousness can remain independent of anything. But the object and the experience is depending upon the consciousness. Okay. Similarly, that mind and Panchabhutas and the sense organs, they are nothing but the name, form and functionality. They are appearing in the consciousness and we identify them with that rather than the substratum. That is a wrong thing. That's why we are suffering. That's why he is removing the misunderstanding. I'll give one example which will make it very simple. The waves and the ocean, they are nothing but water. Waves are nothing but the appearance of water. Correct? Can there be wave without water? Can there be ornaments of golden ornaments without a gold? Suppose you have a bangle. I say that you take bangle with you, but leave the gold with me. Is it possible? Because gold, a bangle is nothing but the appearance of gold, right? Similarly, the world is nothing but the appearance of the consciousness. So that cannot exist independent of the consciousness. For the matter, any experience cannot remain without consciousness, because we have given the example that definition of experience is equal to consciousness plus object. Object is nothing but the name, form and functionality. This I thought I should give it. Okay. Then I'll give you a different perspective. We are saying we are experiencing the world, right? Can we give a different way? Can we see the world differently? Can there be a world without color, without shape, without sound, without touch, without smell, without all these sensations? Can there be any world which you can experience without these 5 sensations? So the world can never be there independent of the sensations. So the world has become now unreal because it depends upon the sensations, right? So the sensation between the world and sensation seems to be relatively more real than the world. Is it not so? Like the pot and clay. Now come to the sensations. Can the sensation remain independent of the senses? For a blind person, the world of color and form is not there, correct? Because he doesn't have the seeing faculty functioning. So the world cannot remain independent of the sensations, and the sensation cannot remain independent of the senses, and the senses cannot function independent of the mind, and mind is nothing but the appearance in the consciousness. Correct? Like waves are nothing but the appearance of water. So ultimately, if we go to the relative reality, the final reality, the absolute reality, what is absolute reality? The absolute reality is the awareness. But unfortunately, we take the relative reality, the nama, rupa and functionality, the name, form and functionality as ourself, and which is bound to be changing, which is bound to be born and grow and get old and get sickness and die and suffer. This is called samsara. But this knowledge, what I am not, what I construed and misunderstand myself as myself, if I remove that, and that's what Adi Shankaracharya is saying, that you are not that, and understand. So is it not a good verse for contemplation? Should you not meditate upon this? In Vedantic meditation is you take some concept and close your eyes and think about it. Just because somebody is saying don't take it. So I thought these are the points I should give it. Oh, see, all these things, they're all relative experiences, relative reality. I'll give one more verse and close it because I have 15 minutes already over. In Shat Darshan, that is part 17, I liked it, so I thought it has got some relevance. If we can relate to this with this verse, I will be very happy. Bhutam bhavishyasya bhavat swakale tadvat vartamanasya vihaya tattvam hasya na kim syat gadapavi charcha vina eka sankyam ganana eva loke. Amazing. Bhutam bhavishyasya bhavat swakale. The past and future are in their own time. Correct? That is the present. When the past happened, it was that present time, right? And the future is going to have, that is become now. That time only it can have. Okay? So, bhutam bhavishyasya bhavat swakale. In their own time, okay, they are there in their own time. That is the present. Tad vartamanasya vihaya tattvam. If we don't understand this, the present concept, okay, the present concept, how it looks like is, you are going to do counting without knowing the number one, without understanding number one. Because without counting any calculation, the basic number is number one. The basic thing, if you don't know how, that's why he's saying that it's laughable. If it's laughable, so there is no time concept. The concept of time is created by the mind. Okay? Past is the memory, future is the mental projections. Now is only there, the now is the self, now is the consciousness, now is you and I am, and only that thing is there, the consciousness. And this is what the mind does. If you identify with your self mind, then you think about the past, you think about the future, which is not there. Because at any point of time, that was only now. So that verse meaning directly what it gave, we saw, and we also saw something related to these verses, which will appreciate and enhance the meaning of the verse. So now I would like to conclude this session with repeating the first verse. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham nacha shrota jihve nacha grana netre nacha vyoma bhumihi na tejo na vayuhu chitananda rupash shivoham shivoham. In the subsequent sessions, we will see the verse 2 and onwards, right? Thank you for this opportunity.